Hello! Thank you for taking part in this digital drop-in from Google and Parent Zone. My name's Chelsea and we've got our online safety expert Tim in the chat box too. Now we'd love to know your name, maybe where you're tuning in from this afternoon, so please do introduce yourselves and say hello in the chat box. Don't be shy. Now, Tim and I are part of a team in charge of Be Internet Legends. Now, this is an internet safety programme designed by Google and Parent Zone to help children and families become savvier, safer and more confident online. Now, over the last few weeks, we've been asking parents what topics they'd like us to cover in these digital drop-ins, and protecting personal information was one of the top answers, so that is what we're going to be focusing on today. Now, this drop-in is one of several that we're doing, including sessions on cyberbullying and sharing carefully. Now, we're always interested to hear if there are any topics or any areas that you'd like us to focus on. So if you do have any suggestions, please pop them in the chat box. Now, the plan for this session is for us to talk about how we can teach children to protect their personal information. Now, this includes understanding why internet safety is so important and the steps they can take, building mega strong passwords, which really are the foundation of good internet security, and developing healthy routines, and that includes checking and updating their privacy settings. Now, we want the next 15 minutes to be as useful and as practical as we can make them. And we know that some of the best ideas and suggestions are going to come from you, sharing your knowledge parent to parent. So if you've got any ideas you'd like to share or any questions, pop them in that chat box. Tim is waiting and I'll keep popping my eye down there as well so I can answer any questions or share your advice with everybody. Now, before we continue, I just want to check that everybody can see me okay. If I do look a bit blurry, I recommend pressing refresh on your page on your phone, tablet or computer, or you can adjust your settings by clicking on the little cog in the bottom right and selecting quality. And don't worry if you miss any of this, because you can always watch it back later. As I said, Tim and I are part of a team that have been teaching an internet safety programme called Be Internet Legends in primary schools across the UK for about 4 years now. Some of you might have heard about the programme from your children, or maybe you've attended one of our other digital drop-ins. Now, we deliver really fun interactive assemblies like these, and then teachers follow up with lessons that are part of a full curriculum. And throughout the pandemic, we've been supporting schools and families from afar using the power of tech. Now, Be Internet Legends teaches children 5 really important internet safety pillars. Now, these are a mixture of skills and behaviours that cover the most important things for children to remember when they go online. This includes being sharp, being alert, being secure, being kind and being brave. Now, if you want to find out a little bit more about all 5 pillars, do check out Google's parent page. Tim's going to pop a link for that in the chat box as I speak. Now, the programme covers a lot more than protecting personal information, but like I said, that is what this digital drop-in is going to focus on today. I'm going to explain what we teach children about this subject so that you can apply the same approaches at home with your children and family if you think that would be useful. So, let's get started. How can we make sure that children understand how to keep private stuff private? And what do we need to teach them about the tools they can use and the behaviours we want to encourage? In Be Internet Legends, this is all covered in the Be Internet Secure pillar of the code, and that is what I'm going to concentrate on for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Like I've already said, the programme covers 5 different pillars, so do take a look at the others when you have some time, or you can join us for another one of our digital drop-ins. We'd love that. When we're talking and teaching children to be internet secure, the first thing we encourage them to think about is what information is personal and what information is private. Now, this might sound pretty obvious to you, but in a world where children are used to sharing everything and their favourite celebrities share loads of information online, it's really important that we explain to children what we mean. Now, there are some really important rules that children should know, like never sharing their contact details with any strangers or anyone they don't know offline, and this includes in messaging apps. The children should never ever share passwords other than with you if you feel like that's important, and that's a decision you can make as a family. And children should never share pictures of themselves that give away their personal information, like their address or where they go to school. We talk a lot about passwords in the Be Internet Legends Assembly because they really are the building blocks of good internet security. So we really want children to make sure they understand this topic. We want them to know how to create a strong password and why they're important. Unfortunately, children sometimes share their passwords with their friends as a sign of good friendship, and this can often cause problems. So we encourage them to think about why that's not a very good idea by giving them an offline example they can relate to. So in the assembly, we say, in your house, you've got a front door key and you lock the door and you've got your key to open it. Now, you wouldn't just give this key to anybody, would you? No, of course you wouldn't, and this is exactly the same with your passwords. Now, it is a really straightforward message and one that you can reinforce at home. Now, you might be surprised to find out that your child has already shared a password, and if they have, you can work together to create a new, super secure one. If they've had a Be Internet Legends assembly, they'll have been taught some tips and tricks to make some super strong passwords. Now, this includes things like picking a unique word or phrase that's really tricky for anybody to guess, making sure your password has at least 8 characters or more, making sure they have a mixture of lowercase letters, uppercase letters, numbers and symbols. We talk to children about how you can even swap some letters out with a similar looking number or a similar looking symbol. So for example, we talk to children about how the letter E, so a capital, and let me start again, tell you exactly what I mean. So the number 3 looks like a backwards capital E, and for example, an S could be turned into a 5. Now, if you do have any techniques of your own you'd like to share, pop them in that chat box because I'll look there soon. Finally, on passwords, we remind them, as tempting as it is, that it's really important to avoid using the same password for lots of different accounts. In the same way you wouldn't have the same key to your house and your car. We tell them as well it's a good idea to be changing that password often, and that's really difficult, I know, but it's a really good habit we should all be getting into. Now, that is quite a lot on passwords, but like I say, they're the foundation of really good internet security, so we want children to think especially carefully about them. Now, there are some more tips on passwords and creating super strong passwords on Google's Be Internet Legends parent page, including information on a password manager that you might find useful. Now, Tim's going to pop a link for that in the chat box if you did want to check that out. So, if a strong password is the starting point for good online security, what are the other things that we need to teach children? Here are some important messages. We teach children that they should log out of any websites or applications on the internet. Now, this is especially important if they're back at school using a shared computer or a shared device in the classroom or maybe at their local library. Just closing the browser isn't enough. We remind children to make sure their privacy settings are what they want them to be and to check in with them from time to time. Now, it might be useful for you to make this a part of your routine, like you would maybe at the start of term checking their school bags and they've got everything ready for school. Maybe check their privacy settings from time to time. And lastly, another one that lots of children forget is to put an auto lock on their devices. Now, if they don't have an auto lock, if their device gets lost, it means that anyone can get hold of their personal information. So it's super important that children have auto locks on their accounts and they're locking everything up nice and safely. Most websites and apps will have these kind of settings under the My Accounts or Settings option. Now from here you can adjust things like what information is visible on any of your profiles or your photos or videos or any other content that you're sharing, and what content you can see when you visit the site. Now, I think it's amazing how quickly and easily children seem to be able to use technology. They seem to be able to just pick up any new device or go on any platform or app or website and just seem to know how to use it straight away. But it is really important to remember that children aren't always good at using the tools and settings that are there to keep them safe. Now, research does suggest that quite a big proportion of children will share a password with a friend or forget to auto-lock a device. And considering that one of the most common passwords used by people in the UK is 123456, it's really important that children understand the importance of good internet safety now. And finally, there's one more thing that crops up a lot in Be Internet Legends, and that's reminding your children to talk to you as their trusted adult if they're ever worried or confused about anything or have any questions or see anything on the internet that they're unsure about. It's the final pillar of the Be Internet Legends code, and it's called Be Internet Brave. When in doubt, discuss. Now, it can be really difficult for children to talk about things that have happened online, especially if they've broken a rule or done something that they've been asked not to. But it is so important. If you can get into the habit of talking to them about what they're doing online, if they do have a problem, it'll be easier for them to be brave and to come and talk to you if something does go wrong. Now, working together to create things like a super strong password or checking those privacy settings together can be a really good way to get those conversations started. Now, I hope that's been useful. I've really enjoyed talking to you this afternoon. Google and Be Internet Legends parent page has so much more useful information on it, and Tim's going to pop a link for that in the chat box now, alongside a link to the Parent Zone website, which again has so much more useful information on it. But that is not all. If you found this useful or interesting, why not come to one of our other digital drop-ins? Now, we're doing them all through the term, covering subjects on to cyberbullying, to sharing information carefully. Now, Tim's going to pop a link in the chat box for the timetable, and do share that with your friends and parent family members, because we want to spread the word of Be Internet Legends to everybody. Now, this is something I'm super excited about. Google, Parent Zone and Aardman are inviting you to embark on the Legends Family Adventure. Now, this is a 3-part animated series that follows a family of internauts on an adventure through Interland. And you can also take part in the Legends Family Challenge, an opportunity to test your online skills and win some fantastic prizes for your child's school. Now, I am super excited for the launch of this, and it's launching hopefully in the next few weeks, so do keep your eyes peeled. Parent Zone's Parent Hub has loads of free, fun activities that are designed for families to do together. Now, there's something for every pillar based on the Legends Code, from kinder meters to password poetry. Now, Tim's going to pop a link in the chat for our newsletter, and if you do sign up, we'll let you know as soon as the Legends Family Adventure goes live, and also any new activities we have, you will be the first to know. And finally, have any of you played Interland? Now, this is a fab online game what's free to play, and as children play it, they're exploring different islands, completing different challenges based on the Legends Code. Now, children absolutely love it, and they're really good at it too. So why not have a little competition in your household? Play this game with your children, see who can get the highest score. Maybe the loser has to do the dishes. And playing Interland with your kids, once again, can be one of those fantastic ways to open up conversations about this subject area with your children. Now, bit of advice, if you are having a competition, watch out for Mindful Mountain. Kids seem to be able to do it and get on with it, but I really struggle. So if it is a competition, stay clear of Mindful Mountain, because you will definitely be doing the dishes. Now I'm just going to have a little look in the chat box. Oh, we've had some comments in here. Giles is saying thank you, that the digital drop-in's been great, and is there one next week? We're taking a break next week, but do check our Parent Zone website. We've got a link there when all the other digital drop-ins will be happening. Stella, thank you so much for joining us. It's lovely to see you here today. Stella also asked, are we running any in half term? We aren't, unfortunately. We're taking a break, but do check out our other activities. Play Interland, maybe try some password poetry. So yeah, there's lots on there to keep you busy. Now, if you have any more questions, or you want to maybe share some of the password poetry you and your children create over half term, do drop us a line. We absolutely love hearing from parents and teachers and children. So we've got an email address on our screen now, and you can also get in touch with us via our Instagram. And if you do have a question, there is no such thing as a bad question. I think that's everything from me. There's nothing left for me to say, but thank you so much for joining this digital drop-in. And yeah, have a lovely half term, and I will see you all soon. Bye!